Hey folks, former Prescott football and basketball player Ryan Smith and his family, man oh man, they are some lucky people. I saw a post on Facebook from them, and guess where they're at right now? Omaha, Nebraska. And, well, what's going on there this week? The College Baseball World Series. And I caught some of those games this week, and I'll tell you what, I was listening to them on my satellite radio, and man, I got to tell you, I am just enjoying the absolute heck out of it, especially the game Thursday between LSU and Wake Forest. Who would have thought that a 0-0 game through 10 innings could be so darn thrilling? But when you get to the late innings and both teams get guys on base and you're like, ooh, are they going to get the big hit now? Is someone finally going to score now? Ooh, could this be it? Could this be it? I mean, it was just a great pitcher's duel between LSU's Paul Skeens and Wake Forest's Rhett Lauder, who actually set a new team record for strikeouts in a season during that game. And both of them went on for a pretty good while. Lauder lasted 7 innings. Skeens went 8 innings. And, man, I like seeing that because, I don't think we get pitching duels like that in the majors anymore because, of course, the analytics Poindexters have taken over the game. And they go, the longer he goes, the more tired he'll be. And he won't be as effective. And his spin rate won't be as good. It's like, dude, he hasn't even given up a run through 7 innings, and he's still bringing it. Like, well, you're doing an eye test, and that's not accurate. You need to look at computer formulas. Yeah, and you know what? You need to stuff a sweat sock in your mouth. Man, I'm just sick of these analytics cultists who probably didn't like that Skeens and Lauder went on for so long, but you know what? I don't care what they think. It was an awesome game with an awesome ending with LSU's Tommy White smashing a walk-off 2-run home run in the 11th inning, and the Smith family actually recorded it from the stands and also put that up on Facebook. Got a really great shot of it too, by the way. Also, Tommy White, that home run he hit, that resulted in RBIs number 99 and 100 on the season for him. I mean, how many college baseball players even get close to 100 RBIs during a season? You know what? Only one I can think of off the top of my head is Bob Horner when he played for ASU back in the 70s. ESPN even had an article where many are calling the LSU versus Wake Forest game the greatest college World Series game ever. And there was one part of the article, I really like this. There was a woman in a Wake Forest t-shirt in the stands, and she was just bawling her eyes out over that loss. And a police officer came by, put his hand on her shoulder, and said, we're sorry to do this, but it's time to head home. And it's a shame that someone had to lose a game like that, but bits like that, they just make games even more legendary. And I'm already looking forward to the rest of the College World Series. In fact, 4 p.m. today, LSU versus Florida. Can't wait for that because I think that is just going to be an outstanding game. And honestly, it just feels like baseball. Like, honestly, folks, I can't even watch modern-day MLB anymore. I mean, hard to believe words like that are coming out of my mouth because I've been a baseball fanatic since I was 8 years old. But with baseball delving into politics, with all these stupid new rules that they've implemented, with the analytics having taken complete control of the game, with this new breed of fan who've made it their mission to defecate on all the great players of the past, coming up with stuff like Willie Mays' WAR and JAWS and OPS. Plus, divided by league and park-adjusted offense, we're below average. It's like, shut up, you little dweebs. Like, all that has just sucked every ounce of fun out of Major League Baseball today. And a pox on the whole organization and all the analytics cultists. You know what? I'll just stick with the College World Series, which is actually fun to watch and fun to listen to. Speaking of fun, today on the show we have another top 10 list, and we began with our top 10 local freshmen of the year. Last week we had our top 10 local teams of the year. Today it's time to honor the bench bosses. We have our top 10 local coaches of the year. So many great candidates to choose from. Some of them, unfortunately, couldn't make the list. Like I said, we had way more than 10 on here, and all of them certainly worthy of being on the list. But we had to narrow it down to 10. We did that. You know what? Let's just get started right off the bat here, folks. Number 10. He came to this college right around the start of the school year and pretty much had to build his team from scratch. Through a lot of hard work and a lot of beating the bushes, he put together a full roster. But rotten weather messed up their preseason to the point where it was about a week before the start of the season, and 20 of his players still had yet to set foot on their home field. But the players he brought in had a good amount of talent, got on the same page quickly, and were competitive to the point they beat some top 20 teams. They had a shot at making the playoffs right up until the last week of the season, but unfortunately came up just a wee bit short. Even so, to go from putting together an almost brand new team just a couple of months before the season began to winding up with a 29-20 record, well, that deserves some kudos. So congratulations to Patrick Woods of the Yavapai College baseball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 10 local coach of the year. Next, we have number 9, and we have another first-year head coach to honor. Along with teaching his players the skills needed to be successful at their sport, he also instilled a sense of family among them. After having a so-so first half of the season, his team went on a tear during the second half and went undefeated in Skyline Region play. That earned them the number 8 ranking in the 4A conference and a spot in the state tournament. Unfortunately, they got bounced out in the first round. Still, this shows you never underestimate the power of team chemistry. His squad finished the season with an overall record of 15-7, and he was named the Skyline Region Coach of the Year. With his coaching philosophy, expect more good things out of his team in the future. Congratulations to Ephraim Bernard of the Prescott Boys volleyball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 9 local coach of the year. And before we go to break, folks, we're going to plug in one more here. This is number 8. This coach experienced success on the field in more ways than one. During the cross-country season, he led the boys' team to a spot in the state meet, while the girls' squad was one place away from going to the big dance. But it was during the track and field season where his presence was really felt, and I'm not just talking about what his athletes accomplished in competition. I'm talking about raising the standards of the program. Thanks to his efforts, the team had a brand new track to run on, new hurdles to jump over, literal hurdles, not like figurative hurdles, you know what I mean. And they now have their own place to do pole vaulting. Oh yeah, his team also produced 3 state champions at the state meet. With all these new amenities and all these talented athletes, expect more top-notch performances in the coming years from his team. Congratulations to Mark Metz of the Chino Valley Cross Country and Track and Field teams, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 8 local coach of the year. All right, folks, we are just getting started with our top 10 local coaches of the year. You can give us a call here, 928-541-1016. Again, 928-541-1016, the number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup here on the news, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM. You can check us out online at kyca.info. Also, we're live streaming on the KYCA Facebook page. So we'll go to a break here. We come back. We'll have more of our top 10 local coaches of the year. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup, everyone. John Rust with you, and it is top 10 local coaches of the year today here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We've already gotten through numbers 10 through 8. And let's find out a little more about our number 10 local coach of the year. That is first-year head coach Patrick Woods of the Yavapai College baseball team. And to let us know a little bit more about Coach Woods and the job he did this season with the Rough Rider baseball team, we're going to go to the phones right now. We will be talking to Brad Clifford. Well, I guess now the outgoing athletic director at Yavapai College. So we'll get some words from him. Hey, Brad, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you got it, Brad. Well, Patrick Woods, I think like a lot of your new coaches, they were in a little bit of a bind. They got hired pretty late into the season. I know, Woods got hired in like August, September, and he really had to do some work to put together that roster. But not only did he put together a roster, he put together a roster that came pretty darn close to making it to the playoffs. And, some people may think, oh, top 10 local coaches of the year, they have to be people who made it to the playoffs, who had a great one-loss record. But, I think you really have to look at guys who went in there and you may not have expected much of their team. And thanks to their efforts, they really turned their team around, made it a very good, very competitive team. And that's certainly the case with Coach Woods.
Well, there's no question. We had 3 coaches that left right towards the beginning of the school year. I mean, literally days within the school year starting. And so we had to really scramble to hire some coaches, and we went through 7 applicants with baseball coach, and I'm glad we went through 7 to get to Pat Woods. He was truly the man for the job. He came in. We had mass exodus of players, so he was left with 15 players, which on a baseball squad you got to have at least 10, if not 12 pitchers. And so he had to scramble and get some kids in here on the transfer portal. He obviously knew some people, and he came in here and brought some energy to the program. Him and his coaching staff with Chris Delgado and J.J. Flores, which, by the way, J.J. was just hired as a full-time head coach. Chris left to go back to school, and J.J. is a full-time assistant coach to Pat. So I think, and when I talk to him all the time, I call him Skipper of the Year because I thought he did a great job to get these kids, first of all, into a team and then turn them into a team that was contending for the playoffs. And he missed it by 1 or 2 games and, woulda, coulda, shoulda on a few things, but I think he did an outstanding job.
And so what were some of the things that Coach Woods did in order to, get all his guys on the same page and turn them into a team that, as I said in my read-through, who actually beat a couple of top 20 teams this year?
He just brought an energy. First of all, he had to get on board, get the sophomores on board, that were here. And God bless those sophomores that stayed because they didn't have to stay, and they chose to stay at Yavapai College. And I kept promising them, you're going to get a coach in here that's going to be an outstanding coach, and he's going to pull you guys together. So Pat came in, and he had to get the sophomores on board, and he did. They bought into the system. And then, of course, you go into the portal now. In the portal, you can get all kinds of players, the NCAA portal. And so he got some kids out of the portal. And then, like I said, he knew some kids out there. And he took some chances on some kids that maybe were overlooked. And was able to get them in here as well. And his energy, his love for the game, his love for the kids more than anything, he wants them to succeed. He just brings an energy, not only to the baseball program, but to the department as well. And it's just, there's a lot of those intangibles, John, that you really can't say, but he has them.
Great. Well, hey, Brad, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Roundup and giving us a little more insight about some of the reasons why I decided to put Coach Patrick Woods of the baseball team on my top 10 local coaches of the year. And, of course, Brad, well, as I said, your time as athletic director at Yavapai College coming to an end. And certainly for all of us here at KYCA, we want to wish you the best, and it has been great working with you. Man, going on 20 years here since I've been, sports director here at KYCA back when you were the women's basketball coach. But been a great pleasure to work with you, to have a great friendship with you, to have you here on my show on multiple occasions. And Brad, you will definitely be missed by not just us here at KYCA, but certainly everyone at Yavapai, everyone at the community.
Well, John, I can't thank you enough for those words, those kind words, and it's a bittersweet moment for me to be leaving. Of course, I bleed green and gold, and you've been there. You've been there for 20 years for me, John. So I sure appreciate KYCA, and I appreciate Yavapai College and my time there.
You got it, Brad. Have yourself a good one, man.
You as well. well, John. Thank you.
Okay, again, Brad Clifford, athletic director for Yavapai College. Let's get back to the top 10 list, folks. We are at number 7. He knew how to use every single player on his roster to their fullest potential. Boy, oh boy, did it pay off. After a couple of successful early season tournaments, they went on a tear, going on an 11-game winning streak. They won the Grand Canyon Region Championship and made a lot of noise at the state tournament. He always made sure they never got their heads down too much when things did not go their way in close games or when they suffered a loss. Thanks to that mentality, his team made it all the way to the Final Four of the state tournament. They concluded the 2023 campaign with a record of 25-6, making it one of the best seasons in the history of the program. And I'm sure we're going to see more success from him as he leads his team through the 2024 season. Congratulations to Brian Bundrick of the Bradshaw Mountain Baseball Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 7 local coach of the year. We're up to number 6 now. Perhaps the biggest thing he brought to this program was stability. After going through quite a few different coaches over the past few years, he made a commitment to this team, and it did not take long for his players to get on the same page with him. Instilled with renewed confidence and knowing what their coach expected of them, the team barreled through their opponents all season long. They went unbeaten in their PowerPoint games, winning the Grand Canyon Region Championship and going into the state tournament as the number 6 seed. After winning a close one over Deer Valley in the first round, they got shut out by Goldwater in the Elite 8 of state. Still, with a final overall record of 14-3-1, it was one of the best seasons this program ever had, and the way he led his team was so impressive that he was not only named the Region Coach of the Year, but the 4A Conference Coach of the Year. This program looks to be in good hands moving forward. Congratulations to Matt Rice of the Bradshaw Mountain Boys Soccer Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 6 local coach of the year. Next up, we have number 5. The season did not start off well for this coach's team. In their first 4 games, they notched only 1 win. So it looked like it was going to be a lost season. Well, at first it did, but if there's one thing this coach knows how to do, it's turn his team around. And he's done it many times before, and this past season was no exception. He worked them hard, drilled into them the need to play as a team, and made them despise losing. Next thing you know, they go on a big winning streak and claim the Grand Canyon Region Championship. That actually got them the number 8 seed in the state tournament and a home playoff game, which they won. Unfortunately, things did not go their way in the next round, but to go from a 1-3 start to an 8-4 finish and an Elite 8 appearance at state says a lot about how this coach can motivate his team, and it also earned him the nod for Grand Canyon Region Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Bob Young of the Bradshaw Mountain Football Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 5 local coach of the year. On to number 4. For the past couple of years, he coached against them. Then he was hired to be their head coach. How would that work out? How about very well? He worked his players hard, knew what the best roles for them would be, and the players all bought into it. The result was 2 massive winning streaks during the regular season, which led to a region championship and the number 3 seed for the state tournament. Some of those games, they had to claw and scratch to get a win, but they always seemed confident they could pull it out in the end. That attitude helped them get all the way to the Final Four of the state tournament. His first season at the helm of this team ended with a record of 24-5 and got him the Grand Canyon Region Coach of the Year award. Talk about putting your stamp on a team in your inaugural season as head coach. Congratulations to Kane Atkinson of the Bradshaw Mountain Boys Basketball Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 4 local coach of the year. Now it's number 3. He took over for the coach that transformed this team into a championship caliber squad. Would he be able to maintain that level of play? Heck yeah, he would! Having been the assistant coach previously, he already knew what it took to keep his girls performing at a high level, which they did. They romped over the opposition and once again earned a spot in the postseason. They had a shot at back-to-back championships, but it did not work out the way they wanted. Still, a 20-2 overall record and a state runner-up finish is not a bad way to end your first season as head coach. It looks like this team is in good hands moving forward. Congratulations to DJ Daniels of the Chino Valley Girls Soccer Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 3 local coach of the year. On to number 2. Her demeanor and her work ethic are 2 reasons why the players respond so well to her, and it showed with their performance on the court. Once again, under her leadership, they had a perfect regular season, and she made sure they never got overconfident as their wins mounted up. They made it all the way to the state championship match, but unfortunately came up short. But with a 17-1 record and a state runner-up finish, that is a season that you can take a lot of pride in. And for everything she did to make her team one of the best in the state, she received some big-time recognition. She was named the Northwest Section Coach of the Year, the Division II Coach of the Year, and was also voted her school's Coach of the Year. So long as she's at the helm, this team should keep having success. Congratulations to Bobby Yoder of the Prescott Badminton Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 2 Local Coach of the Year. And hey, folks, we're going to go to the phones right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about both Coach Bobby Yoder and Coach Ephraim Bernard, as we have on the line with us right now Missy Townsend, the athletic director over at Prescott High School. Hey, Missy, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us here on the show.
Good morning, John. Thank you for having me.
So, Missy, we've got 2 of your coaches who made our list this year. Let's start off with Bobby Yoder. Another tremendous season for the badminton team. Then again, she's just had one tremendous season after another with the badminton team. So you've known her for a long time. What is it that makes Bobby such a great coach for these young ladies, where they just go out there and they just come oh so close to bringing home a championship banner?
You know, I'd probably say it's just her relationships with the kids. She absolutely loves and adores these kids, and she works her tail off for them. I've never seen a coach give as much as she does. She truly, everything about these programs and these players, I mean, they're her kids, literally. Even after they graduate, you know, she still stays involved and interested in their lives. She's just one of the most inspiring coaches as far as how you handle kids and work hard with them and how you build relationships with them.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, another of your coaches made the list, Ephraim Bernard, your first-year boys volleyball coach. He was our number 9 local coach of the year. And to me, the impressive thing about Coach Bernie, as a lot of people call him, it's not like the skills he teaches his players. It seems like every time I'm around the guy, every time I'm talking to the guy, he's always emphasizing family for this team. And, well, considering they won the Skyline Region Championship, and I almost knocked over my microphone here. Good job, John. Considering they won the Skyline Region Championship and made it to the state tournament, certainly that family philosophy really paid off this year for Bernie and the Badgers.
Yeah, and so many of your coaches on this year's list are first-year coaches, head coaches, and I think Bernie is the perfect description of a first-year head coach. Somebody who knows what it takes to build culture, and who knows what it takes to kind of unite a group in a common purpose. I think maybe that's kind of what unifies, as I was thinking about both Bobby and Bernie both, it is culture. It is that sense of purpose, united purpose, and understanding what they're working towards. And Bernie you can't be around Bernie for 30 seconds and not feel his energy and his love. I mean, I feel like he is probably one of the most energetic and honestly, I can't think of a better word. He's loving. He's kind. He makes everyone feel welcome. He makes everyone feel a part of what he's trying to do. And I've attended his practices. His practices are great. They are very skill driven and very working to make these boys better volleyball players. And he does it in a way that makes them feel like they would do anything for him. And I think as I'm describing that, I think that probably is what describes each one of these coaches that you've mentioned on your top 10 list. They know how to build family. They know how to build culture.
That is definitely true, Missy. And, Missy, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Roundup this morning. And, enjoy your summer. Hopefully you have plenty of good time off to spend with your family before you dive back into the busy sports season coming up in August.
Yeah, we'll definitely try and find some time.
All right. Missy, thanks again. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Again, Missy Townsend, athletic director over at Prescott High School. And folks, this leaves us with number one. Who takes home the top spot as the head coach of the year for Tri-City Sports Roundup? Well, we'll find out on the other side of this break. We will be back with our number one local coach of the year for the 2022-2023 scholastic school year right after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup, everyone. John Rust with you here, and today we are honoring our top 10 local coaches of the year for 2022-2023. Before we get to number one, I'm going to keep you in suspense for a little longer here, folks, but before we get to number one, we're going to run down numbers 10 through 2. Number 10, local coach of the year, Patrick Woods of Yavapai Baseball. Number 9, Ephraim Bernard, Prescott Boys Volleyball. Number 8, is Mark Metz, Chino Valley Cross Country and Track and Field. Number 7, Brian Bundrick of Bradshaw Mountain Baseball. Number 6, Matt Rice of Bradshaw Mountain Boys Soccer. Number 5, Bob Young, Bradshaw Mountain Football. Number 4, Kane Atkinson, Bradshaw Mountain Boys Basketball. Number 3, DJ Daniels, Chino Valley Girls Soccer. Number 2, Bobby Yoder, Prescott Badminton. And now, finally, number 1. It seems like every year he has a mix of experienced upperclassmen and up-and-coming underclassmen, but he knows how to work them effectively into the lineup. And he knew how to make sure his players continued to respect and build on the program's decades of tradition. And they did that in 2022. They did not lose a game until the last day of the regular season, and while that might rattle some teams heading into the postseason, he made sure that did not happen. They made it to the state championship game, and for the second year in a row, they won the whole shebang, along with another state title and an overall record of 21-2. That's 20-1-2, by the way. He was named the Central Region Coach of the Year and the 2A Conference Coach of the Year. I think we can safely say all will continue to be good with him leading from the sidelines. Congratulations to Todd Carey of the Chino Valley Boys Soccer Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup 2022-2023, number 1 local coach of the year. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Coach Carey here. We're going to go to the phones right now. On the line with us, we have Matthew Dunn. He is the athletic director for Chino Valley High School. Hey, Matt, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, John. Thank you for having me.
So Matt, you've got 3 guys from Chino Valley on our top 10 local coaches of the year list. We'll start out with our number 1 coach of the year, Todd Carey, and boy, oh boy, just another great season by Carey, another state championship. And I think the interesting thing with Todd Carey is when you're around him a lot. When I'm interviewing him, he seems just to have a very, very laid back demeanor. Doesn't get overly emotional or anything, but you know what? It definitely works for him when you see where he's picked up where Coach Clark left off and just continuing to produce successful teams year after year for Chino Valley Boys Soccer.
Absolutely. Todd is a soft-spoken young man. He does great with the kids. The kids respond, and he's built a culture at our school that continues to thrive.
And I think the other impressive thing was, and kind of like I said in my read-through, the Cougars just win. Then the last day of the season, they suffered a loss to Sedona Red Rock. And again, that might have really shaken up a lot of squads going into the postseason. But again, like I said, it looked like Coach Carey made sure that didn't happen. And as a result, you got another championship banner to hang in the gym.
Absolutely. I was at that game. It was a tough loss. The boys played well. Coach, I thought he did a great job with the game, but he used everything to his advantage. Everything that he saw, they worked on, they communicated, the boys responded. He holds them accountable. In turn, they hold each other accountable, and it just works great for the program.
Well, another soccer coach from Chino got on the list. And of course, that is DJ Daniels. His first year as head coach of the Chino Valley girls soccer team, again, taking over for Alan Foster, who, like I said, just really transformed that program into one of the top ones in the entire state. But I imagine being the assistant coach, that really helped DJ just a smooth transition there. He just got in there with no problem. And of course, the girls knew him already. They responded to him well. And, just great job by DJ maintaining that level of success that we've come to know from Chino Valley girls soccer over these past several years.
Yeah, DJ stepped in, took over the program, and kept it going in the same fashion as Alan. Very similar coaching perspectives. Same vision, same drive. Girls responded fluently, made the changes necessary, and put out a great team. It was a great season for the girls.
And I imagine for yourself as an athletic director, it probably eases your mind to know that, hey, we didn't have to go out. We didn't have to find like a brand new person outside of Chino Valley. And who knows how the players might respond to him. It's like you already had a guy who was a known factor in there and just continue to make this team as good as it's ever been. And I imagine that had to ease your mind a lot.
Absolutely, coming in as the athletic director my first year and knowing I was losing a great coach and Coach Foster, but Coach Daniels knew the program. He's been with Coach Foster over the years, and again, the girls know him, know how to respond to him, and they respect his coaching ability and his play. And so the girls responded and played well all season.
And then, of course, another Chino Valley coach who made our list, and this is Mark Metz. He's our number 8 coach of the year. And I think you can have a nice debate that one of the reasons he's on this list maybe has more to do with what he did away from the field of competition than what he did on the field of competition. The new track at your school, bringing a pole vaulting pit to the school, getting new hurdles, which were desperately needed. He did all that while also having to, coach this team throughout the season too. So a lot of hard work by Coach Metz in there to try and make Chino Valley just a premier track and field program.
Again, a phenomenal man, a phenomenal coach. He does everything for the students, for the school. The dedication this man has is unheard of. One of the first ones at the school, one of the last ones to leave. He doesn't just go out and have the kids run. He gets out and does it. He shows or leads by example. He gets out there and does it. And you made a great point. Brand new track. We haven't had a track meet in, I want to say, 11 or 12 years prior to my even coming to this state. And this man held some of the best meets that I've seen for track this year. It's just amazing feat. Again, you mentioned he brought in a pole pit. We haven't had that. We haven't had the luxury of having it. Being a small school, it's tough to get the financial resources to get the equipment available. But he's gone out and done it. He's just building a program that's going to be here to stay for a while.
And along with bringing these new amenities, bringing these new facilities to Chino Valley, he also produced a very, very good track and field team this year that gave Chino Valley not 1, not 2, but 3 individual state champions.
Absolutely. We had Danica out there. She was throwing. We had runners. We had everything this year. And these kids came out of, I'd say nowhere, but they've always been very athletic. And with the proper coaching and the athletic ability, they were able to succeed and thrive under Coach Metz.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but I think all 3 of them were also multi-sport athletes. I know I love to highlight the multi-sport athletes, but Danica McDonald, along with being a state champion javelin thrower, she's also, I believe, part of the volleyball team. Brody Ryan won state in the hurdles. He's also part of the football team. Danielle Graham, she was, I think it was the 800 meter that she won state in, but she's also part of that great soccer team for the girls we were talking about too. So again, just tremendous athletes over there at Chino Valley, and I'm sure that the stuff that Coach Metz does in track and field that just made Danica, Brody, and Danielle, I'm sure, even better in their other sports too.
Absolutely. Cross training does wonders for athletes. It just enhances their abilities to perform better. And again, like you just stated, we have some great athletes at our school, and they just need to shine. They need the light and the drive, and Coach Metz puts that behind them and lets them know how he's a great cheerleader and great supporter of these kids.
All right, Matthew Dunn, athletic director over at Chino Valley High School. I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, telling us a little more about three of your coaches who made our top 10 list this year. Mark Metz, track and field cross-country coach, our number 8 local coach of the year. DJ Daniels from girls soccer, our number 3 coach of the year. And our number 1 coach of the year, Todd Carey of the Chino Valley boys soccer team. Matt, thanks again for talking these guys up a little bit more. And, hey, you have yourself a great day and a great rest of the summer.
You too, John. Thank you very much for the call. Appreciate it. Take care, buddy.
You got it. Have a good one. Again, Matthew Dunn, athletic director at Chino Valley High School. Okay, folks, programming note for you here. Next week, we're going to be doing a best of show for the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Reason one is because next week is the Frontier Days Parade, which KYCA will be broadcasting. So we're going to have a bunch of the equipment we normally use for live streaming over at the parade site. Also, reason B is I'm not even going to be here all next week. I'm going to be on vacation, maxing and relaxing, and going to a concert Monday featuring the original lead singer of one of my favorite bands, Nightwish. Yes, I finally get to see the great Tarja Turunen in concert live. So I'm looking forward to that. So again, best of show for the Tri-City Sports Roundup next week, which also means that we will have a delay in continuing our summer top 10 list. When I get back, which I believe will be on July 8th, that'll be our next live show here for Tri-City Sports Roundup. We will have the top 10 local grads at college of the year. Also, since I'm going to be off next week, we will not have any new episodes of the Rust Rants podcast on our YouTube channel, KYCA Digital. Next new episode of Rust Rants will be on July 5th. Since, July 4th is a Tuesday, we're going to be on a holiday schedule there. So, again, just some programming notes for you to know. And then, like I said, next week, KYCA will be broadcasting the Frontier Days Parade. That gets underway at 9 a.m. Frontier Days Rodeo, the world's oldest rodeo, that will be getting started on Wednesday, and that'll be going all the way through July 4th. So, certainly big things going on here in the Tri-City area. Excuse me. Also, today and tomorrow, we've got a lot of baseball going on at our local high schools, Prescott, Bradshaw Mountain, Chino Valley. It is the Wade Parker Scott Norris Memorial Baseball Tournament, honoring two of the Granite Mountain Hotshots, 2 of the 19 Hotshots, who of course passed away during the Yarnell Hill wildfire. And the 10-year anniversary is coming up on Friday of that tragic event. And the 19 will be honored in a ceremony over at the Courthouse Plaza. And also, finally, before we depart today, folks, don't forget we've got indoor football league action going on tonight over at the Findlay Toyota Center. Northern Arizona Wranglers taking on the Tucson Sugar Skulls, one of the coolest names in the IFL. So kickoff from the Findlay Toyota Center over in Prescott Valley, 6:05 tonight. So, man, oh man, a lot of things going on in the Tri-City area this week throughout and through the 4th of July holiday. Well, folks, that is going to do it for this show. Again, I will see you back here in 2 weeks. Till then, have yourselves a good time. I will see you soon.